Have you ever stood face to face with someone, smiling politely, nodding along, while deep down your brain is in a silent panic? You know their face. You remember the moment you met them, but their name, it's completely vanished. As if someone quietly erased it from your memory when you weren't looking. You tell yourself it's just a slip, just age, just a little forgetfulness. But here's the truth that no one tells you. When you start forgetting names, not just once, but over and over, it's not just a funny aging moment. It could be one of the earliest signs that your memory is quietly unraveling beneath the surface. Why names? Of all the things to forget, why do names vanish first? Well, it's because your brain treats names differently. Unlike places, smells, or faces, which are tied to images, emotions, and context, names float. They're abstract. They don't attach themselves to any strong visual cue in your mind unless you deliberately anchor them. Think about it. You can describe someone's face in detail. You can even recall where you met them. But their name? It's just gone. Now imagine your brain is a library. Names are the books without labels. And as we age, the librarian inside us gets slower, more distracted, and sometimes forgets where certain titles belong. But here's the part that most people miss. Forgetting names isn't harmless, it's a red flag. A whisper from your brain that something is changing. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but quietly, steadily in the background. Because the ability to remember names isn't just about social grace. It's about working memory, focus, emotional connection, and even the strength of your hippocampus. The very region in your brain that's most vulnerable to aging and cognitive decline. So if you've caught yourself forgetting names more often lately, don't shrug it off. Don't laugh it away. This isn't about being forgetful. It's about listening to what your brain might be trying to tell you. Because if we want to keep our memories strong, our minds alert, and our relationships alive, we have to start by paying attention to the smallest things we forget. Even a name. So, you forget names. That's clear. But what if I told you, there are things you're doing every single day that are quietly making it worse? Not just age, not just stress, but daily habits that silently steal your memory, one name at a time. Let's start with the biggest trap, mental autopilot. You wake up, brush your teeth, drink your coffee, check your phone. You go through the motions, half awake, half aware, floating through routine. Your brain? It's coasting. And when your brain coasts, it stops forming new memory pathways. You stop noticing. You stop engaging. You stop storing information in ways that are easy to retrieve. When you meet someone new in this autopilot state, your brain doesn't even bother filing the name properly. It barely even registers it. Second trap? Shallow attention. We live in a world where people speak while our eyes are glued to a screen. We nod without listening. We scroll while pretending to be present. But your brain has a rule. It only remembers what it truly pays attention to. And names? They slip by in a whisper. If you're not fully present, you never really catch them in the first place. That's not memory loss. It's memory never formed. Third trap? Low social engagement. After 60, many people naturally begin to withdraw. Fewer outings, fewer conversations, fewer new people. And while that might feel safe or peaceful, it's also deadly to your memory, because your brain was designed for connection. Social interaction forces you to listen, respond, process, and most importantly, remember. When we stop meeting new people, we stop giving our brain names to store, and like a muscle you don't use, it begins to fade. But perhaps the most dangerous trap of all is acceptance. That quiet voice inside that says, "This is just aging. It's normal. I can't do anything about it." But that voice is wrong, because memory, like muscle, responds to effort, to attention, to care. It doesn't vanish overnight, it weakens through neglect. If you're forgetting names more often, it's not a sign to give up, it's a signal to start fighting back. And in the next part of this video, we're going to show you exactly how. Stay with me, because the steps are simple, yet incredibly powerful. Let's begin with one truth that changes everything. Remembering names is not about memory. It's about meaning. If a name means nothing to you, your brain tosses it away. But if it carries weight, if you attach it to something, suddenly it sticks. So here's what to do. First, create a connection. When someone says, "Hi, I'm Sarah," don't just nod. Pause. Say it back. "Nice to meet you, Sarah." Then link it to something visual or emotional. Sarah, like my niece Sarah who loves sunflowers. Sarah with the sparkly earrings. Sarah with the warm handshake. It doesn't have to be poetic, just real, just yours. Second, repeat it aloud, naturally. People love hearing their names, and your brain loves repetition. Say the name once when you meet, again during the conversation, and once more when you say goodbye. Each time you say it, the memory grows roots. Third, make names part of your daily practice. Yes, practice. You brush your teeth every morning, you check the news. Why not train your memory too? Here's a 3-minute habit. At the end of each day, write down the names of the people you met or heard about. Even if it's just grocery clerk, Maria. Even if it's doctor's assistant, didn't catch her name. Writing it down trains your brain to care, to notice, to remember next time. Fourth, protect your brain's environment. Your memory lives in your brain, but your brain lives in your body. That means sleep matters, hydration matters, moving your body matters. Did you know that even mild dehydration can reduce your short-term memory by 15%? That poor sleep quality can erase the memory of what you heard just a few hours before. If you truly want to remember names, start by remembering to care for your brain. Because your brain will not fight for you if you do not fight for it. Fifth, speak with intention. Listen with your eyes. When someone says their name, stop thinking about what you'll say next. Just look, just listen, just be there. That moment of presence, it's when the memory forms. The silent warning signs. Your memory might be slipping faster than you think. Let's stop pretending it's just getting older. There are quiet, creeping signs your memory is not just slowing down, it's sending out distress signals. And most people ignore them until it's too late. Sign number 1, you remember the story, but forget who told it. You recall what was said, the emotion, the lesson, but the face, the name, gone. This isn't about being distracted. It's your brain failing to bind memory to identity, a function that weakens when your hippocampus starts to shrink. Sign number 2, you confuse names with similar faces. You call your neighbor Deborah, but her name is Diane. You know who she is, yet the label won't attach. This mislabeling is a subtle clue that your brain's name retrieval function stored in the left temporal lobe is becoming less efficient. Sign number 3, you panic in introductions. You meet someone new. They smile, they say their name, and before the handshake ends, it's gone. If this happens occasionally, it's human. If it happens almost every time, it's a warning. Sign number 4, you stop trying to remember. Maybe the worst sign of all. You laugh it off, say, "I'm terrible with names." You stop asking, you stop repeating, and worst of all, you stop caring. This mental resignation accelerates decline more than forgetfulness itself. Because when the mind stops striving, it starts shrinking. Let this land. Your memory is like a muscle. Use it and it grows. Neglect it and it fades. And here's something most doctors won't tell you. The decline doesn't begin at 80 or 70. In many people, it begins quietly at 55 or even younger. But you don't feel it until the losses pile up. A face forgotten, a moment lost, a connection broken, because the name that bound it vanished. You're not just forgetting names, you're forgetting the anchor that makes a moment human. But here's the hope. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire, never fully goes away. Even at 70, 80, 90, you can still build memory, still strengthen connection, still remember the people who matter, but only if you start now. So you've noticed it. The fading names, the paused conversations, the quiet frustration that no one sees. But here's what you need to know. Your brain is not a lost cause. It's not too late, and you are not powerless. In fact, the small, quiet steps you take today could be the reason you still remember your grandchildren's names, your neighbor's face, your partner's favorite flower, 10 years from now. Let's walk through the path, one step at a time. Step 1. Train your attention, because memory begins with presence. Before you can remember anything, you have to truly see it. So the next time someone says their name, pause, look them in the eye. Say the name out loud. Nice to meet you, Alan. Use it once more before the conversation ends. This moment of presence sends a signal to your brain. This name matters. Store it. Step 2. Repetition is your secret weapon. There's no shame in repeating names. Whisper them to yourself. Write them down after a conversation. Connect them with an image. Emily, like the poet. Frank, with the glasses. The brain loves patterns. Give it something to hold on to. Step 3. Move your body. Move your memory. Surprised? Don't be. Daily walks, gentle stretches, even dancing in your living room. These aren't just for your muscles, they increase blood flow to the brain, especially the hippocampus, the very part responsible for memory. Some studies show that 20 minutes of movement a day can delay cognitive decline. Not just slow it, delay it, sometimes by years. Step 4. Let your plate become your medicine. Your brain craves nutrients. Omega-3s from fatty fish, antioxidants from berries and dark leafy greens. B12, folate, magnesium. These aren't supplements of youth, they are defenders of dignity. You don't need a miracle pill, you need food that loves you back. Step 5. Sleep isn't laziness, it's memory consolidation. When you sleep, your brain files memories like a librarian organizing shelves. If you don't sleep well, names don't get stored, moments blur. Start protecting your rest like you protect your home. Keep a routine, avoid screens late, and let silence become your ally. Step 6. Talk to people. Talk often. The best memory exercise is not a crossword puzzle, it's a conversation. Ask about someone's day, share a story, recall a moment from last week, and tell it again. When you speak, your brain retrieves, constructs, and stores, all at once. And that right there is memory in motion. Step 7. Forgive yourself. Gently. If you forget a name, it's okay. If you stumble in a story, it's okay. Shame shrinks the mind. Compassion opens it. Say to yourself, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, because you are. And here's the truth no one says loudly enough. Remembering names isn't about impressing others. It's about keeping your world intact, keeping your connections alive, and holding on to the threads of who you are and who others are to you. You can begin today, right now, with one conversation, with one name. Hold on to it, speak it, let it stay. Because your memory isn't just about your brain, it's about your life, and all the beautiful people in it. Closing message. A name is never just a word, it's a bond. If you've watched this far, it means you care. Not just about memory, but about presence, about the people around you, about staying you, even when time tries to blur the edges. And that is beautiful. You see, when you forget a name, it's not failure. It's simply a sign your mind needs more kindness, more rest, more attention, and yes, more love. But when you remember a name, when you say it out loud with warmth, something magical happens. You remind someone that they matter, and you remind yourself that you still matter. That connection is what keeps us alive inside, not just breathing, but truly living. So the next time a name slips your mind, don't panic, just breathe, smile, and keep trying. Because every effort you make is a step toward keeping your world whole and your heart open. You're not alone in this journey. We're walking beside you, every step of the way. If this video touched something in you, leave a comment below and tell us, what's one name you never want to forget and why? And if you believe more people need this kind of healing, please share this video with someone who needs it. Subscribe to Golden Pathways for more stories that speak to your soul, because the path of aging doesn't have to be lonely. Not when we walk it together. Thank you for being here. You are still growing, still remembering, and above all, still deeply, beautifully alive.